Kimon here again. I've been able to read through the comments sent to the media yesterday. For clarity, the opposition agrees to a ceremonial president, yes?
We are prepared to proceed with a president that has a mixed role. The president will have important ceremonial functions. The president will also have very important quasi-executive functions, especially around the issue of appointments to sensitive posts. So we are prepared to proceed on that basis because we want consensus. And although the PNP's position has always been that there should be an executive presidency, the Jamaica Labour Party have never endorsed that. And we realized that we would never get anywhere unless we were to adjust our position. So we're prepared to live with the model that is being proposed, subject to some refinements which I have pointed out as being necessary in the comments that I have made on the final report, which were released to the media today, which are fundamental and are very important. But those are issues which I think could be resolved by further discussions. So yes, we're prepared to live with that model for the time being.
Some questions coming in online. First question, what happens from here now that the report has been submitted and considered by Cabinet?
Well, I would say that the ball is in the government's court. You know, I've written to the Prime Minister. I've asked him to let us know what his position is on this issue, this fundamental issue for us. He has not yet responded, and I await his response. If they want to push forward without the opposition on board, they can do so. We can't stop them from pushing forward, but we know that when it comes to Parliament, we have a responsibility, and the Constitution gives us certain powers, and we will be exercising those in due course if we can't arrive at consensus. So it would be best, I think, to make haste slowly, bring us back to the table, and try to resolve these issues so we can go forward together.
Second question, has the document been signed by all other members of the CRC other than the PNP?
No, because Mr. Hugh Small has not signed it either. He has grave concerns about the procedure and the way it's been, what has taken place, and he's not happy. Because the fact of the matter is this report has, I was only allowed to see it at the last minute, and it was given to me on the basis that it couldn't be shared with anyone. It's a very restricted basis, and given the importance of this report, and it represents the culmination of over a year's work involving public engagement, it's quite wrong that this report should be treated in that secreted way. And you know, that is why today I've called for its release to the public so they can see, and they can also make sense of the comments that I have made, because in order to understand the fullness of my comments, you need to see the final report, because it makes reference to specific provisions in there.
Will the PNP, as members of the CRC, request a reopening of committee work rather than allowing a draft bill to go to Parliament only to be defeated?
I think it would make sense for the government to bring this issue back to the table so that the issues which have been raised on the report itself can be properly thrashed out and hopefully resolved in a way that we can endorse. And also that we are trying to achieve consensus around the issue that we think is fundamental to the way we're proceeding.
Just a quick follow-up. The matter of dual citizenship as it relates to your recommendations, I just want to get a clear understanding from you as to where you stand on the matter of Jamaica transitioning to a republic where we would essentially no longer have the matter of Commonwealth citizens sitting in the Senate or the Parliament, but this matter of dual citizenship, such as people still living in the United States, members of the diaspora. It has gone to court before. It has been a contentious issue for both parties. What do you still support utilizing the diaspora in this manner, as in allowing them to sit in the Parliament or the Senate?
The issues that went to court after the 2016 general election, 2007 general election, thank you, were as a result of what the Constitution now says. And the Constitution now doesn't allow anyone to be either an MP or a senator unless that person is a Commonwealth citizen who has been ordinarily resident in Jamaica for at least a year. And there were a number of candidates, as you know, who were not compliant with that. They were citizens of countries that are not in the Commonwealth. And that is why those matters ended up in court. At the time, many people felt that these provisions were out of date and should be revisited. And the committee has revisited them. And I think the committee agrees that the use of the Commonwealth as a yardstick is inappropriate and should be eliminated. My personal position is that as long as the person is a Jamaican citizen, it should not matter if they also have another citizenship, because so many of our people travel extensively, live from time to time abroad, want to come home in due course. Many of them have aspirations to do that, but they may be citizens of the country that they've settled in, whether it be temporarily or permanently. And I think it's wrong to exclude them from the eligibility to serve if the people want to vote for them, or if they, in the case of the Senate, the leaders of either the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition wishes to appoint them. So my position is that this dual citizenship should not be a bar to service. That's my own view, and I think the party will continue to have discussions on this, because as I've said, this issue we've not had an opportunity to really discuss it, because we didn't know what the specific reform proposals were until this draft report emerged, and then permission was very latterly obtained to share it even with me as leader of the opposition. But that is the position that we have put forward, because we think that it's appropriate, given the nature of the Jamaican society, where roughly half of our citizens live outside our physical boundaries and are so fundamental to the life of the country, both from the point of view of the social safety net that they provide, the balance of payment support that they provide. We got through COVID after the collapse of the tourism industry, largely because of the support from the diaspora, where we didn't have a balance of payments crisis. We didn't have a foreign exchange crisis. So I think it's appropriate to allow them. The question of residency needs to be resolved as to whether you're going to have a residency requirement in order to run. And the existing provision of 1 year's ordinary residence to be eligible, I think, is reasonable. In terms of the Senate, we could consider waiving that requirement to allow 1 or 2 persons from the diaspora to sit on the Senate, even if they are not resident here. But these are the kind of issues that need further discussion at the committee.